Welcome to episode 25 of Two Dimensional Champions. I'm Julian, or Julian. My Twitter handle is Julian, so I guess we'll just go with that for right now.
I'm Thadnator, Thaddeus, Big Papa. Call me whatever you like. Wink, face.
Big Papa is your Twitter, right?
No, that's my corner name.
Oh, yeah, that should be your alternate
Yeah.
internet name. And today we're talking about Utaware.
The false faces. There's a
Yeah,
word before
actually,
that starts with a U. Good luck trying to pronounce it.
actually, this is the yes. So the title of the show is actually it's a sequel to a previous series that aired in 2006, apparently.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, so the faces, the shrouded faces or whatever,
the false faces.
false faces. That's it. Is just the name of the newest adaptation. Although I didn't see anything connecting this. Like it felt like it was just starting for the first time for me. So,
Unless that other one ended with their main character having amnesia.
oh, that's true. Yeah. Spoilers. Uh, so yeah, it's Utawarerumono. So yeah, I guess there's fans of it that know that'll be pissed that we can't say the
But
name,
yeah,
but
it's the false faces. We're gonna go with that for now.
So that's what we're talking about tonight. First 5 episodes of that. So if you've watched it, that's great. You can have more fun listening to us talk about it. And next time, if you don't want to listen to us blab about
The false faces.
False Faces, next time we're watching The Perfect Insider, and that'll be the first 5 episodes of that. Um, and Utawarerumono, we watched that on Crunchyroll, and The Perfect Insider is also available on Crunchyroll.
Boom.
There we
If you
go.
have any requests, please send them to 2dcrequest@gmail.com.
Have we checked that in a while?
Yep.
And we've gotten tons of requests, right?
Yeah, tons.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, all these shows are requests, right? Wow, we just haven't been able to keep up.
Yep.
That's where, if this was an actual radio program, that would be the sound of like chirping cicadas there to show the empty crowd that we're talking to. Well, that was a depressing way to start the episode. I'm sorry. So what'd you think of this show, Utawarerumono?
I thought it was all right, actually. It seemed just like normal, like a normal sort of fantasy story. Starting off, when I looked at the trailer, I thought it seemed kind of harem-y, and as the story progressed, it got way more harem-y, which I feel like was less fun. There were some interesting things that they had in the beginning episodes that didn't really follow up, and like the first 2 episodes I thought had some interesting stuff, and then the next 3 episodes like didn't touch on any of that. So all in all, it's like if you're like into sort of light-hearted harem sort of animes, this might be something that you'd enjoy. But it doesn't really bring anything like new and exciting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of. I mean, I went into this knowing nothing about it. I didn't even watch the trailer beforehand or anything. And I thought of the harem shows I've seen. I think this is one of the more non-offensive ones. It's pretty vanilla,
Yeah.
frankly. There's I really like the setting. I really like the background. I mean, it seemed like a very interesting world, but nothing seems to be really done with that. It's just there to look pretty.
Hmm.
So the main focus is, like you said, the harem, and that I think was too bad. It started kind of promising, actually. I really enjoyed the first couple episodes, and then it seemed like the show. You kind of felt like it was. You had 2 episodes of like normal
Story
stuff,
building, and then 3 episodes
and
of
then
harem stuff.
yeah, and then suddenly it just de-evolves into a giant harem show. So yeah, I mean, overall, if you enjoy that, I think there's so many different harem series out there. There's uh, there's a lot to choose from. I haven't seen one in a long time. This was definitely one that was sneaky about being a harem show. I didn't actually really expect it to go that route, frankly, just because I didn't know anything about it. But it's pretty. It's well animated. So if this is your thing, the girls are cute, and yeah, if it's your thing, if harem shows are your thing, like you said, I'd go for it. But otherwise, there's nothing here.
It's like I have a friend and he talks about how like mech animes are just like his shit. So he'll just he doesn't need to really pay. He just likes, you know, robots flying around blowing shit up. Like that's just his jam. Like he doesn't need to pay a lot of
Mhm.
attention, whatever. It's just fun having new stuff. And I feel like if you feel that way about like harem anime, then you'll enjoy it. You'll have to get through the first 2 episodes because that has like actual sort of like storyline stuff. But then like the next three, or it seems to be the rest of the anime, going straight harem.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, interestingly enough, the studio that did it is White Fox, and the director who let me get his name real quick. I had it up. Kitaro Motonaga. He actually directed. Oh, jeez, I just had a gigantic brain
Arsa?
fart. I wish. Jormungand, also for White Fox, and I really enjoyed Jormungand. I thought that was a really fun show. So the show is very pretty and it's very competently directed, but you could just tell that the material doesn't. I mean, this director is good. I've seen him do some really awesome action sequences. It seems like there's not a lot here to work with, and it's also interesting that it seems like it's getting a full 24 episode release, at least from what I've seen, or 24 or 25, and that's pretty rare nowadays, especially for a harem series.
Well, I
So
mean,
that I'm
they
actually pretty
have
surprised.
like they sort of hinted at having story, like so it could actually be like a really they could the anime could have a lot of stuff going for it.
Yeah, I mean it's true. There is a really interesting world and an interesting something in the background that seems to be going somewhere. I was just surprised when I discovered that it's got a full course of episodes, whereas something like Roka only got 12, which my big frustration with that was that it was just kind of getting steam, and then there just really wasn't enough episodes.
Right.
So it's kind of funny that this is getting such a big adaptation, but yeah. So from here on, I guess we'll go into spoilers.
Yeah. We can start. We're gonna go break down the episodes. Again, would very recommend it for someone who's into harem anime. But other than that, we're just gonna dig right on into it.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think I'd really recommend this to anybody who who's kind of the casual viewer.
Well, unless like you can just sort of like I don't know. If there's nothing else to watch and you want to see if it like develops, then that's cool. Then like
Yeah.
it could be good. But if there's other stuff on your to watch list, you might want to check that out first.
Yeah, and this isn't meant to sound as mean as it's going to, but I think I really would have liked this show a lot more had I been 13.
Yeah,
I think I like really would have enjoyed this a lot. I would have also forgotten about it 6 months after I watched it, but
yeah. I remember watching those animes when I was 13.
yeah, this would kind of remind me of like Tenchi Muyo or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, so enjoyable for the right group. But after looking it up a little bit, I actually discovered that it's actually based on a adult role-playing game, which was released in 2002. So it's actually based on a porno. So
Really?
yeah, uh, and there was a PlayStation 2 version, and it looks like a sequel just came out uh, this year or last year in September. So I guess this new anime is based on the sequel that came out. I don't know if the sequel is also a porno, but it seems like since it came out in 2002, it's been a huge hit. They've gotten four different comics based off of it,
Like
uh,
porno, or are you just talking about the anime?
like normal comics. Or
Um, that reminds me, the Fate series.
oh yeah, yeah, the Fate series is like that
When
too,
I
right?
when I first saw like the not the new like Fate Stay Night series stuff, but when I first saw the like the old show, and then I remember like looking online and then seeing like some images from their whatever like novel what do they call them, like the graphic novel
Oh, like
online or
the
something.
light novels or not light novels, visual novels.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It was like a visual novel, and there's some like sort of kinky stuff going on. And I was like, I wasn't looking for porn. I was looking for the story. And I was like, oh, this is the story. So
Yes, this is actually the
yeah,
story. So yeah, I guess it's a similar case as that. So apparently Utawarerumono is a really huge thing, and I apologize to all the people who are big fans who are listening to this because
didn't have a
this is
clue.
I had no idea this fucking
Whatever.
existed.
One thing we
So
have going for us is the whole ignorant American card. So we can just like whip
yes,
that out and be like, hey, I'm American. It's like they don't.
that is at least one card I can play exceptionally. So I
Yeah.
have good confidence in that. So episode one, let's break it down.
Yeah.
In the in the distant land of Northrend, our story begins.
Exactly. Uh, my first impression were of the monsters, and they were kind of creepy. Like I don't know. It was just like it sort of stood out to me. I don't know. Maybe I just really don't like centipedes.
Centipedes are creepy as fuck.
Centipedes are really
There's
fucking creepy.
especially like giant centipedes, they're always scary. That's a fact because even one that's super tiny is terrifying to look at.
Yeah.
They just look like demonic creatures naturally. But I do gotta say I kind of I'm a little tired of like the standard bug monster. It's just I mean it is a kind of creepy. I mean centipedes are creepy, but there's really nothing outstanding about the look of this monster.
What about the
Uh,
standard slime monster? How do you feel
well,
about
it was
that?
the blob, right? I mean
Yeah.
it's just the blob.
Well, it was a
Uh,
blob that turned into a face of somebody that seemed to
yeah,
recognize the main character, which is
which
interesting,
that was interesting,
and just
except
never
that
touched on again.
no, we just never talk about that
Yeah.
again. But do you remember the James Cameron movie The Abyss?
No.
Do you remember that? So that was in the 80s, and the alien creatures in that movie used water just like the slime monster. So it would kind of ooze out in like a tendril, and then a face would appear at the end of it.
Oh.
Uh, and what's funny is that movie came out ages ago, and the CG in this looked about the same as the CG
Fair enough.
in that movie. So that was my impression. I gotta say though, I was utterly enchanted by the dinosaur mounts uh, that the people use in the show, or at least the main girl uses. Kuan
Yeah.
loved her dinosaur bird thing. Loved it. Really happy it got the whole ending theme to
To
her itself.
dance to
And
she can
I
bask in
gotta
its
say,
glory.
yeah, I was really sad the show wasn't just about them traveling, with their dinosaur.
It sort of seemed like it was going that way for a little while, but then like they like set up at the capital. But we can get onto that in a...
Yeah, yeah. I gotta say the this episode and the next one I really enjoyed
I
them. I
did.
thought
Yeah.
they were well done. I mean, it kept me interested. I liked the relaxed atmosphere. It kept me interested. I liked the interaction between
The two
Haku
characters,
and
yeah.
Kuan. Yeah.
I
Um,
thought it was interesting how he was like, I'm gonna name myself something awesome, and then she was like, I found you, so I'm gonna name you. I'm your guardian. And then so she named him Haku, which was a name of one of the Sung, who also is never mentioned ever again.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
That's
sort of like, oh, you're named based on this thing, which we never find out about later.
yeah, that's literally never brought up again.
Yeah. which it could come up later in the series. Like maybe they're doing like, here's a little bit of story, here's a little bit of ham, and then we're gonna blend it all together, which could be cool. But in the next 4 episodes, they don't talk about it at all.
Yeah. Mm. And she's a cat or a cat girl. That's the other
Right,
elephant
but
in
then
the room.
like so is everybody. And then like when he grabs her tail, that seems like strangely sexual to you? Like,
Yeah. So I think that was like a lot ruder than I think they meant it to. I thought that was like super rude because he obviously was attached. So I think it was. I didn't like that. I was like, why grab the tail?
yeah,
I don't know. But it was weirdly.
like the way that she responded though, I thought was weird. I don't know, like
It was pretty pervy. Yeah.
it was the little blushing, like you should have asked first. I hardly know you, or whatever.
Well, it kind of seemed like to me the way Saiyans react when you grab their tail. They get like
Yeah,
super weak and stuff. I feel like she should have it like kind of wrapped up. If you're not supposed to
that's true.
touch it. I'm not saying it was her fault what happened, but like
Wait a minute, she was asking for it.
I mean,
That
definitely
tail
his fault.
flopping around out there,
Just wagging
waiting to
around.
be
Yeah.
grabbed.
I did like though how when she would get impatient, or it was like it was very cat-like. That was just fun.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice touch. It wasn't just sort of a static addition
it
to the
seemed to
character.
react to her like emotions and stuff.
Yeah, and it did so I think for all the character. I mean, all the weird furry characters. I guess.
Right, whatever the puff girl were. Now, something that stood out to me was the bath scene that
Hmm.
he took, and she was peeping
Oh
on him,
yeah.
and then
I
it's
thought
like
that
was
was
he
hilarious.
fapping? It sort of sounded like he might have been fapping. Like I think that might have been what they were. It's like, well, it's time to relax. Let's get these motions in, and
Was it fapping or was he just like doing jumping jacks or something?
yeah,
And he was
I
just
think it's like. I think he was fapping. I think that's like
whoa, yeah, that's like a whole nother level of dirty that I hadn't thought about. Yeah, I guess that makes sense then. I mean, hmm,
because also it was like like it like gradually got faster.
that's true. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, that definitely explains why she was that flustered. I just thought he was just like jumping around and he just had a hog down there, you know what I mean? So like, I don't
maybe,
I mean,
but
but I did think it was funny how she spied on him. That was pretty funny.
yeah,
It was just too bad they didn't touch on her like perviness for any of the other future episodes.
right. It was just
They
like,
were
oh,
like,
now that I've seen you once in the shower.
yeah, it's like she kind of saw it, she was kind of flustered, and then she was like, "Nah, not really my thing,"
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like no tail. I mean, not the right type of tail or whatever.
Yeah,
So, so he goes around and he sucks at everything,
yeah, he does.
but then
Yeah,
he like is able to fix the water mill in town, so he doesn't have to mill the machine or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Which actually thought it was funny how it was like pure laziness that he fixed the mill
Right.
out of. He was like, "Oh, actually, this isn't that hard to, fix."
And then there's a character that finds him and is like, hey, and this character's relevant, and he's like, don't tell anybody that I fixed this because they're gonna ask me to fix other shit.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too. Yeah, and that's eyebrows, right? That's the guy who finds them.
Well, there's
Split brow.
Ukon or Ishitoga, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But so yeah, so and then on to episode 2. Anything else to add with you?
The tacos looked really tasty.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
the one.
just like chowing down on burritos, teach them how to eat
Yeah,
burritos.
that looked really yummy.
Yeah,
I gotta. But yeah, so that's episode 1. I really enjoyed it. I ended the episode and my thought was, I really hope that this show is just this. I
right.
really hope it's just them traveling and
Yeah,
doing like odd jobs in different towns and stuff. I was very enchanted by that idea. And episode 2, we discover that our hero Haku is excellent at math.
right. He's a little bit of a savant in a sense. He can just
Yep.
calculate. But before that, this was the first time that I think we really got to see the intro because I don't think they showed the intro in the first episode, and that's when I was like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, they
Is
did. Yeah,
this
they
a
didn't show
harem
it.
anime?
Yeah, that was. I saw that and I was like, well, I guess they're not staying, with this beautiful simplicity that we've got right now. Yeah, there's all these people, and I was kind of confused because I thought the guy in the mask was him.
Yeah,
You know,
because they
thought it was
look
Haku.
exactly the same and have the same
Yeah,
hairstyle.
yeah. So I was like, maybe that's his old life that he's gonna remember
And he's like a
when,
bad
like,
guy or something like that, right? Like, because
yeah,
he's got like it's got like a horn or whatever. So it's kind of
yeah.
like
And then there was like the big angry blonde dude who kind of looked like he was straight up out of Fist of the North Star. And I was
yeah,
like, sweet, so they're gonna fight because this is like his old boss, right?
right. That's
Like,
exactly what I was thinking
yeah.
too.
And he had to escape by wiping his memories so that everybody thought he was dead or something like that.
Right.
And then they find him, and it just like he's got to fight this dude or like outwit him and get a gang of
Because
thieves.
he's really like a super talented tactician. That's like
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
yeah. And then he goes on an adventure with the dinosaur mounts,
And
and
that could happen. It just didn't get anywhere near there in the first 5 episodes.
well, it definitely doesn't fucking happen then. Yeah.
Right, and he isn't the mask guy. Spoiler alert.
Instead, he catches a bad case of the girls.
Right,
Yeah.
back in girls. Um, but yeah. So this is the episode where they like go to solve the bug problem.
Yeah.
And then he's like, the
And
bugs are fucking scary. And they're like, yeah, but they're not that scary. And then there's like all the bugs that they like see are like really small ones. And then like the big one comes that he like had, and I don't know. It was weird. But like I think it was interesting because it showed that there's like the multiple stages of like
yeah,
the
that was cool.
creature, you know?
Yeah. I still don't understand why he like did he mention that like wait, the one I saw was really big?
Oh, he was just talking about
Did
how
he
scary it was, and everyone else was like, nah, we
uh
can kill those guys, no problem.
okay, yeah. Yeah, the little bugs were still creepy though. I thought it
Fucking
was cool how they
centipedes,
like
man, they freaked me out.
fucking centipedes. And we get introduced to
Also known as the
Mororo's.
game magician.
Yeah, the game magician.
Yeah.
And this guy, he could have been an interesting character. He really could have. Because, those kind of weak characters can be fun, but instead he's just annoying as fuck.
Yeah, and like when he casts his spell, he's like doing random like hip thrusts and
Yeah, he like shakes his
wiggles, and
ass.
it
And,
takes forever, and then he actually casts a spell, which is the only spell in the first 5 episodes. It's this
yeah,
fire thing.
yeah. It's, I don't know. I just feel like that's a character that they just made into like a one-line joke, and he could have been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But so Haku and Kuon go with Split Brow that we met in the first episode to go kill the bugs, and then a guy tries to give water to Haku after they defeat the
Gets
little
his
bugs.
head fucking chopped off.
Yep, his head gets gotten.
That perked my
Yeah.
attention when that happened.
That did that woke me up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow,
I was
that's
like,
hardcore.
yeah. And so
The only
everybody
death in the
retreats.
first 5 episodes.
Yeah, which was like strangely brutal.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah. That's like, oh, I wasn't expecting this from this anime.
yeah, I definitely wasn't. I was like, fuck, okay. That got a little serious.
Yeah.
So everybody freaks out. Kuon is still strangely pretty relaxed. She's pretty chill about this. She's like, yeah, we could lead it back to the city, but we shouldn't do that. So we should just handle it ourselves.
Right.
Like,
And
okay.
they send everyone back.
Yeah.
Ukon or whatever sends everyone back. And he also has like the ability to manipulate wind, I guess.
That I didn't understand. I couldn't understand why he could fucking chop through the side of a mountain, but like couldn't fucking cut a bug.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I don't know.
I also didn't get that the curse or like the blob. I thought that they were gonna lead it to that hole and just drop it in.
But instead
Kuon makes it chase after her and she leads it to them.
yeah.
I feel like that was a much more haphazard plan than it should have been.
Right. Maybe
Almost
one
like
could say that they were in the
Haku, like,
danger zone.
they were.
Uh,
And then also apparently it sort of recognized him again. It sort of recognized Haku again, and then was just like, yeah, I'm out. I'm good. I'm going back to my cave. And nobody looked particularly freaked out by this fucking giant blob that just devoured a giant centipede.
And then like when that happened, they're um like maybe it's not hungry anymore. But then you see like from the boss perspective that it looks at the main character, and that's when it decides to go away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel like without him there, that wasn't a very well thought out plan that they had.
but
I was thinking they would lead that back to the village, and they'd have to deal with that. But no. And so they go back. There's a big party. They drink a lot, and then they go to the grave of the dude who got killed, which was nice that they went back out and picked up his body and buried him. That was cool.
yeah.
Otherwise, I thought, wow, they really didn't give a shit about this guy. They were just like, well, we lost one.
Yeah.
Later. Then they kind of explain it. They say that they don't like dwelling on sad things. And then it sort of ends. And at this point, I was like, okay, first episode was actually really interesting. This episode felt kind of weird and just also felt sort of kind of half thought out, I don't know. It just I was starting to be like, well, okay, it could still get good from here, but still interesting if they actually talk about stuff. But then we go to episode 3.
Yeah, let's see, episode 3. Oh, that's where the first new edition of of
Yes,
the harem is.
this is when the show finally starts showing its true colors.
Yeah, so that's and it was weird because like I thought that the giant bird was like an actual character, so I was
Yeah,
excited about, but instead it was just like the trusty steed for for the princess,
yeah,
and she just like rides it around or whatever. And the princess is just like another animal lady.
yeah. She's Ruruti, right? And she looks kind of like a puppy girl or something. I don't know.
You
Uh,
know, all like they all look the same to me.
they all do look the same. At first, I was kind of upset. I was like, well, if the giant pigeon can talk, like, why can't the dinosaur thing talk? I was like, well, let's get some love for the dinosaur bird,
Yeah, dinosaurs.
But then it was just the girl. But strangely, the giant pigeon enjoyed that Haku thought it was it talking, apparently. Because it, like, got all blushy when he
Right, and
looked at
then
it
like
and
became
stuff.
friends. It's like, oh, he really likes me.
Yeah, yeah. And at this point, especially when we see the ninjas lurking in the trees, um, which we don't see that girl ever again, do we? Who's like leading the ninja group, the bandits who uh, catch them on the road. She doesn't ever come back, right?
Um,
Or so far
no.
hasn't. They just kind of left that totally hanging.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
something
weird.
I thought was funny was when it showed them in the trees, there were shadows over the faces, and it made me think of like how we were talking before about how they would use shadows to like for censorship or to like block something that's like really graphic. So I was like, oh my god, they must have fucking ugly faces.
I didn't think about that. That's great. Yeah, when I saw the ninjas, I immediately thought that now this show feels like a filler episode of Naruto without Naruto. There's, some princess.
It didn't end in Rasengan.
Yeah, yeah. There's some princesses on the run. We've got ninjas in the trees watching over, for their chance to cause trouble. It's
Right.
like this is starting to feel like filler. Um,
One thing that I really did like about this was like when the ninjas were like sneaking up on him, and then the main girl, uh, Kuon, she chased after him and was like, did you see anything?" And he's like, "I didn't see anything then, but I see something now." She's,
Yeah, that was funny, and I liked how he just casually walked away.
yeah,
Right?
it's so because it's just like I was like, part of me was like, "Oh no, is he gonna blush?" And then the nosebleed, like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, so that was cool. And there's some other instances in later episodes where you just like like just gives zero fucks.
Oh yeah, and I enjoyed that too. He just was like, "Yep, whatever." And actually, this is the start of our Utawarerumono drinking game, which is this is bath scene number 2.
Yeah, they go fucking crazy with bath scenes.
And each time it's like they up it a little more, you
Yeah.
know. So this was pretty pretty decent, bath scene. I also the scene before that was Haku trying to get water, and Maroro tries to help him out and then fails miserably, and then the bird is like, "Oh, I'll just carry this
Right.
for
It's
you."
like we're friends, right? Come on,
Yep.
friends.
And then the pigeon doesn't like Mororo for some reason, which kind of makes sense because
Probably
nobody
because like
likes him.
Mura's hitting on the pigeons, man.
Oh yeah, the pigeon's trying to like get room for Ruruti to hit that,
I
right?
think the pigeon ones said that. Pigeons all blushing and shit.
Yeah, she went and pecks his pecker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
So
there's a quote in this that I thought was really funny, which was I think it was like later when they were like, so there's bandits, but then the bandits were a surprise, and I mean it doesn't matter really what the plot was because it was kind of irrelevant. But like a quote that I liked was there's like friendship between men is important or something
oh
like
yeah.
that, and then like the game magician is like our friendship is strong, and the guy's like no it's not.
It's not, yeah. He gets really sad. That was a really funny scene. Yeah. That was that was cool. Yeah, the whole bandit story I feel like was pretty wasted.
Yeah.
There was some interesting stuff that seemed to be going on, but
It was just like the
again,
instance of like not caring about the characters that are involved. You know, like
yeah.
you really just don't care about like just like what's going on. Like there's the girl. So first off, like the girl and the guy or whatever, like they've recently joined forces, but then she betrays him. You know, and it's
Yeah.
like all within you've seen them within like 20 seconds. They're like
She just suddenly decides like, yeah, this isn't cool anymore.
right,
We're not doing
and
this. And
that's
her brother was with her too, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was weird because it's like it seems like these characters have a story, but it also seems like they're just completely one-off characters.
Hmm.
Maybe they'll come back in episode 20 or something, but yeah, that was just weird. And then there's sort of a fight at their super secret camp behind the waterfall, which I felt like was kind of a cool idea, even though we only saw it twice. Um,
And then oh you mean like when they escaped and then the bird beat them up?
yeah, yeah, that happens afterwards. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There were no real good fight scenes, I don't think.
No, no, I think the bird fight scene was about as much as we get. The giant pigeon pecking the dude, and he runs away. That was dramatic, to say the least.
Yeah.
And of course, we have some nicely timed troops arriving, which are led by Batman. Um, otherwise, that's Ushitoru, right?
Yeah, that's the Journal of the Right Oshu or whatever. It was like what he said, but yeah, Oshitoru, but he went by the alias of Ukon earlier, so he's got two
Uh,
names.
oh,
And
oh,
while he's
okay.
wearing the mask, he looks exactly like Haku, but when he takes off the mask, it looks completely different.
He's got
Even
a beard when he takes off the mask.
yeah, it's like
That was like, does he just throw that sucker on?
just tucks it up there. There's like a secret compartment or whatever.
What a stupid design. I mean, it really just covers his eyebrows. That was really, I mean, if they had left him clean shaven with the eyebrows, that would have been one thing. But like the beard just really threw me off. Of course, we don't find out about that until what episode 5 or 4 or something. But yeah, that was a strange reveal when it happens. But he does look exactly like Haku with the mask on. So for some reason,
Yeah.
I actually thought that was the connection was that he knew who Haku was, and they were like twins or something. See, at this point, I was already making up my own story of like where it could go, possibly. But it doesn't do this. So they get led to the capital. Oh no, no, no! This guy takes off. He's like, "I'm sure we'll meet again soon."
Haha, wink.
And then Ukon shows up again. I was like, "All right, let's go to the capital."
Yeah.
Which is really funny when you find out they're the same person. It's like he just like dips out. He's with his troops.
Right.
Like,
He's like,
you
you guys
guys,
go
you guys take.
ahead. Trust me, I will be fine.
Yeah, because isn't it a secret to everybody except his sister that he's playing two roles? The guards must know. I mean, the
I
army
don't.
must know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Because otherwise, they're like, "Well, aren't you important? Shouldn't we protect you?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm
I'm
fine.
fine.
You guys go
Check
ahead."
out these guns.
Yeah,
That's
and he does have guns. That is
yeah.
true.
He's
Like
got like a 12 pack, like
he's he's got like abs
for days. For
where he
days,
shouldn't have.
son.
He has like abs on his thighs. I mean, this guy is just like really silly looking. But so that takes care of episode three. A lot of stuff that you think is important, which will never show up again.
Yeah.
Uh, and at the end, we see the capital for the first time, which looks very pretty. I mean, everything looks pretty in this show. That's I'm part of the reason I was so sad that they don't just travel the whole time is because it really is pretty. You know, it really is a cool looking world. And that fucking dinosaur mount, man, ah, so sweet. So we're in episode four, and immediately now the show is like totally just losing its shit and just turning into a standard anime. So we get a little sister character right off the bat,
Right.
even before the opening, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then there's like the boobs bouncing in the bathhouse or whatever. Like there's like another. It like started off from like the gate with the bathhouse scene.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the scene before that is just to show that she's Ukon's little sister, which is obvious because of the eyebrows. And then she mentions bath time, and the drinking game continues. We all take a shot
Right.
because Haku, who or not Haku, Kuon, who's apparently just been reduced to chick who loves bathing, um, announces that everybody has to take a bath. So they interrupt their meal, and apparently the party that they have going on take a bath.
Right.
So we get boobies,
And then they
and
go on the tour, right?
yeah, yeah. Then they're like, well, I guess this show has to pick up some more story at some point.
No.
We do get a kind of funny, like Rurite has this idea of what's happening on the boys' side of the bath. That's pretty amusing.
Oh, the
That's
yaoi
funny.
fangirl.
Yeah, the yaoi fangirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
like that.
I like when they're on the tour and then they're like what's this stuff made of? It's made of holy things.
Yeah, this is a holy site made of holy things.
And then she's like, God, this guy just doesn't understand.
Fucking bumpkins.
Right.
They don't know
The
anything.
internal dialogue constantly ragging on the guy.
Yeah, and of course, see this story. It was really painful because the series started really promising, and now we're
It's
at this
just
story which we've seen 1,000 times before, which is the little sister type who's like, I don't really like this guy. I'm gonna see why this my brother likes him, and then of course we know that she's gonna fucking love this dude by the end, or
right.
at least be cautiously
Suddenly
optimistic.
like approve of him. It's like and it's like, oh, you need to learn to really just like love life more, you studious little
And like
sister character.
trust people more. It was weird because it seemed like she had some shit that happened to her when she was younger, but she gets over that trauma pretty quick
Well,
with
it doesn't
whatever.
even like you don't even know if she has trauma. Like I don't know if like her schoolmates were just like, haha, look, you're a nerd, and she's like, you can't trust anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was all. I mean, it was hard to tell. I mean, I'm just extrapolating that it was like something slightly traumatic, but man, she like turns a new leaf fucking fast. I mean, really fast.
Yeah.
So that was a little funny. And then what's also funny too is the girl's obsession with like getting this Haku dude a career somewhere.
Right.
Where my thing is like, wait, Rurite is a princess, right? What does she do? Like, why
Right,
is she just
right. Why aren't you working,
why
man?
why is she just chilling with
Why you
everybody?
gotta be ragging on this main character guy?
Yeah, right. I mean, like seriously, they make him. He's a waiter, right?
Right.
That's like his thing. And then we discover that uh, he can't read because he gets a note from Ukon,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, I can't read this." So he's great at math, can't read.
Then doesn't he just like wait? Is that the next episode where he like learns how to read in a night, a couple
Yeah,
nights
yeah,
or whatever?
yeah. A couple nights just takes like a week.
Yeah.
He's got that shit down. And the end of this episode is when we discover that Ukon is actually Oshitoru,
And
um,
he's gonna send them on a secret mission.
which he's like, "I'll tell you what the mission is when it's important."
Right.
but
Next
not.
episode.
Yeah. So, and then we get a quick shot of the Emperor after the ending theme, uh, who's basically just seen behind a curtain is like, well, this guy finally arrived. That's so good. Before I die.
What?
Yeah, there was a.
I didn't see that. I just skipped.
Oh, really? Yeah, there's a like an old dude behind the curtain who I think is the Emperor, who's like really happy that they've found somebody. Who I'm guessing is Haku. Um, and I guess he's dying because he's thousands of years old, apparently.
Oh, right. They were talking about that.
Yeah, no. So that brings us to episode Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, and this, I mean, it just starts getting hard. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
by this episode it was a struggle. It
right.
was a struggle. I mean I wrote down here that I was just like just praying that the show would be over soon
Yeah,
because any merit of adventure that it had at the beginning
yeah,
was
like there's no monsters, there's no conflict, like all the stuff that was happening in the first two episodes. It's like we've had two
yeah.
episodes of like none of that stuff going on.
Nothing interesting has been from the first two episodes is ever brought up again.
Yeah,
Uh, lots more bath time in
more
this
bath
episode.
time, more hands, more girls, more names.
And
So,
he gets kept on a really tight leash. Did you notice that like they're like giving him the cash that he's earned? Like here, have a break tomorrow.
right,
Here's some.
yeah,
Like damn.
yeah. Yeah,
This is a
and
this
she
is
spent all of the money on the new inn hideout for the bath
yeah.
or whatever.
Which is like, shouldn't they have split seed that?
Yeah.
Since they're like both putting their lives on the line because apparently it's a dangerous
Well,
mission.
I
Even
thought
though,
that the mission was just like doing stuff around the town. Like it looks
well,
like they were just doing like odd jobs.
yeah. I mean, what was weird was Oshitoru tells them like, "Hey, I am trusting you guys to protect the capital."
But,
And I was like, "Wow, that's a really fucking big job for like two vagabonds."
yeah.
But then they're just, they're cleaning gutters and shit. So
Yeah, and then like we're gonna be I'm just skipping on it. Cause the main part of the episode was just like this really long date thing, which I'm trying to put off talking about as long as I can. So like at the end of the episode, the guy's like, "You're the person that's going around helping people with all of their shit, aren't you?" And he's like, "Haha, you found me. I'm like this mysterious guy that is like rumored around town." Meanwhile, I'm like, have you been telling these people to go around helping out all this random shit? Like I thought they were the mysterious
yeah.
people, I thought.
Well, what I thought was funny is he's Oshitoru, the guy who's got a big important job who wears a mask. He's Ukon, who's like got a gang of like he's like Robin Hood that just goes around and kills
Right,
monsters and
helping out the town.
uh, has like a gang of dudes who like die in the line of battle for him.
Right,
Which and then he's also this guy who like runs around town and helps people.
right. It's
What the
ridiculous.
fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is just like, why don't all the girls love him instead of Haku, who's just like, I just want to drink and
And not work.
sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please stop making me work, please.
But everybody's in like just really, really like invigorated in getting this guy a job and a career.
And so, can you just so blitz through? So the main character on his one day off, he like runs into this girl and she's like, "I want to know what it's like to find true love." So then they go around and I mean the whole I think the thing was called like Pirate Princess or Pirate Girl or something like that.
I think he was Pirate Girl, so I was expecting this was going to be
A
like
pirate girl.
yeah, fucking seafaring
Yeah,
badass
no,
chick.
just another princess.
Another princess. Another princess who at the end was like, I'm gonna be your roommate.
Right, I'm gonna be right next to you, and
Which is like,
it's gone full harem. It's gone
yeah.
full harem.
It's just like he's just collecting fucking out of work girls who are gonna make him work, take his money, and
It's hard
like,
out there for a pimp.
yeah, eke out a little bit to him every once in a
Now
while.
I understand why he's not like excited when he sees tits and stuff like that. It's just because he associates
Yeah.
it with like labor and like sleepless nights.
Yeah, because he knows, and then he's gonna be sent out for like a day off, which is actually just to collect another princess
Yes,
who can mooch off of
exactly.
this guy.
Yeah.
And like that's not being like creepily sexist. That is actually like
So far, what's been
the
going on
story.
in the anime?
Yeah, in 5 episodes,
I
that
wonder if the blob is actually like the curse is actually like also a girl. You know, because there was like
I
a face that came out there and it did sort of look feminine. It,
I thought it was just like him from the future, you
I
know?
don't know,
Like what?
but that blob is gonna be like in the room across the hall. It's gonna
Yeah.
be like, oh, come give me a back rub. It's like you're fucking blob. It's like, come touch me, let me absorb you.
Well, aren't like monster girls really in this year or something like that?
They're in
It's
this
probably
anime. There's no
yeah.
normal girls so far. They're all...
It'll figure out how to do blob tits, and
Actually,
we'll
is the
have like
main
a
character the only non-furry? Like the main character and the soldiers? Are they the only non-furries?
yeah. It seems like they're the only. Wait, is Mask Dude? Is he a
Yeah,
furry? He
I
is.
think
Oh
so.
yeah, he has but does he have a tail with the mask on?
Who knows?
I like.
Maybe it goes somewhere with his facial hair.
I don't remember that. Maybe yeah, it disappears with his beard.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the power of the mask.
Um.
Hmm. Yeah, we've already thought way too hard about that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of any much else to really talk about with the.
My note for right after we find out that the new girl who has like the country accent in Japanese, I forget what area of Japan it comes from, but she's got this very thick accent. Right after we find out she's a princess, the note I have is, God, I can't wait for this episode to be over. So like I'd quit.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
almost fell
like,
asleep.
we're
It was
done
just
now.
yeah, I think that's where the porn would come in the original game is like you would just start having sex with these girls.
Right. It's just in order to try to keep your interest.
Yeah, although if you're playing as Haku, I feel like this game would get pretty tiring pretty fast.
One other thing is, it's like, it's like, I wonder if he's even really like into. He doesn't seem to be into the girls, so it's like, I wonder
Yeah, he does seem to be more
for it to be like
appreciative
a
of.
harem, like whatever porn game. You would think that the guy would be like more into the girls.
Yeah, and you
It's,
know that fucking pigeon's gonna move in.
oh my
You
god.
know, episode
No,
7, it's
it's
gonna
the pigeon's just gonna turn into like another girl or whatever. Like somehow it's
yeah, the
with
pigeon
the
will end up being
blob.
best. Yeah,
They'll be like the pigeon and the blob, the cursed blob thing will be like sisters or something. Like
yeah, the
twin
pigeon turns
sisters,
out
but like blob and pigeon versions.
the pigeon turns out to be the best girl in the
Yeah, I
series.
really think we should just like quit the podcast and just start writing our own anime. We got
I
this,
mean,
man. We got talent.
I think, I think pretty much like, I think my cat has better script ideas than what this show
Your
turned
cat is
into.
also that's gonna be the roommate across. His cat's gonna turn into a
Oh,
girl.
true. Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
cat's coming in this
Got the
porno too, man.
yeah. Except he's got some big nuts, so that he would easily take out Haku in this show. He would just
No,
yeah.
your cat's gonna be fall in love with the game magician.
Oh God. Oh, that's a fate worse than death. I mean, just because it's a terrible character,
Right.
it's just like God. But yeah, so it's really sad. This show really did start with promise. I was like, oh wow, what a nice treat. This is a show I knew nothing about. This could be, kind of fun. No, no, and it seems like it tried hard to resist falling into the anime tropes, um, little sister characters and stuff like that.
Right.
It seemed like it did try to set itself apart a little differently than all those other millions of shows, but no, it just like struggles for 5 minutes and then succumbs completely. And that's just a shame, especially a shame. Like I really can't understand watching 25 episodes of this because it's gonna fucking go nowhere. And since Kuon is in, like, she has the whole ending theme to herself, that she's the winner of the game,
Right, right. You
so
get
to
her
speak.
special ending.
Yeah, yeah. So whatever. But again, if I was 13, I'd probably really like this series. I'd probably watch it all. It's got boobs, so
Yeah.
and it is pretty. The show is well done at least. So I don't know. But otherwise, there's really, I mean, not much to say about it. I mean, it's the sort of thing where if you already like harem series, if you're a fan of like the franchise or something like that, like maybe there's a lot of shit we're just missing out because we only watched the first 5 episodes, and apparently there's like a whole nother show that precedes this one. So, maybe we're missing out on the shocking twist halfway through where half the cast dies and the main character suddenly turns into like a ripped badass piloting a giant robot. But
Was that like throughout to God Eater?
unconsciously, I think it was. Unconsciously, yeah.
Because like that got so good on the fifth episode. It was like I really want to know what
Well,
happened afterwards. I just haven't gotten around to watching it.
well, God Eater did the opposite of what Utare,
Right.
what
It
did, which
started
was
kind
it
of poorly, but then like
started shit and then suddenly was like
right,
badass.
it's just like everyone's getting fucked right now.
Yeah, yeah. Suddenly it was super cool. So yeah, this show did the opposite of that, which I actually, if I had to choose one or the other, I'd rather a show get better
But that's true. Then like
than
it's like how long do I have to hang on to this?
yeah. This is like I guess this is like the blind anime date where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, the she looks cute, and then it's like, oh no, this is a train wreck.
Snaggletooth.
Not even that, but it's like cute, but like actually crazy, you know?
All right.
Like,
Yeah, I agree, but I think that's pretty much said all that I have to say about that. Now we're just like ragging on it and
yeah,
rambling.
now we're just like in the let's just say derogatory stuff about this show.
Right.
Yeah, I really I mean just if you're I'm sorry if you're a fan of this sort of show.
Fan
Uh,
it, please leave a comment and tell us why.
yeah, and tell us to fuck off,
Right.
that thing, and why you're better and more correct than us.
Yeah.
Make sure to
With
add
perfect
that.
grammar, mind you.
Yes, with perfect grammar and capitals. I want some
Yeah.
capitals, But otherwise, I'm just sad. This show made me sad. It really
Well,
did. The dinosaur,
it just sort of got yeah, it just got
and
worse. That's all.
and I think the more the dinosaur bird mount was in the show, the better it was, and the less it was in it, the
But
worse.
to be fair, it could get better.
It could.
Yeah, but
This
like
could
it
be
has a
like
lot of the good foundation stuff. It's just like for 3 episodes, they didn't do shit.
maybe they're just setting up the characters to do some like really crazy like Shakespearean shit,
Yeah.
with like backstabbing and oh, you're actually my sister or something like
It's like,
that,
oh, it feels so wrong, it feels so right.
I know, which wouldn't, really for anime, that's like
Standard.
pretty likely that's gonna happen, right? Ugh, anyway, so so yeah, poo-poo this show.
But yeah,
Um,
yeah, wouldn't really recommend it to anyone.
yeah, but it was pretty, and like I said at the beginning, I do like the director. I fucking love Jormungand, so I feel like he was in pain when he did this show. So
Yeah.
that's just my guess. But there we go. That's Utawarerumono, False Mask. What was it?
The false mans.
Uh,
Yeah.
False Mask.
The false
Did I
face,
get it
false
right that time?
face.
Ah, fuck. False Faces. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that was that.
Thank you for
Uh,
listening.
Thanks for listening. And next time we're doing The Perfect Insider.